Welcome to the SImple Sophisticate podcast, where intelligent living is paired with signature style. I'm your host, Shannon Ables, and whether you're listening on your commute, exercising, working in the garden, or sitting down with a hot cup of tea or a café au lait, thank you for tuning in. Let's get started. Welcome to the 72nd episode of the SImple Sophisticate. I hope the holidays are off to a wonderful start for you, and I am excited to finish 2015 strong. How about you? Speaking of strength, that is what we're going to talk about today. Today's episode is all about what it means to be a strong woman. Let me just begin by sharing a few women that are on a long and continually growing list. Alice Paul, Oprah Winfrey, Angela Merkel, Margaret Thatcher, Condoleezza Rice, Elizabeth Warren, Gloria Steinem, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg. All of these women, and there's so many more, and the list could go on and on and on, but so many people would describe each of these women as strong. And it was recently that in an article in the Sunday New York Times style section that it focused on two of these aforementioned women, Gloria Steinem and Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Now, to describe how this article was set up, nearly every week there is a column that's called Table for Three, because there's always two people that are well respected in their particular field, have been very successful, and somehow their fields, while not identical, somehow intertwined. But then the third part is the journalist, Philip Galanis, and he oversees or orchestrates the meeting, brings them together and kind of kicks off the conversation, but then he lets them roll and let the conversation go where it will. And we as readers basically get to be the fly on the wall. And it's fantastic. And so is the case with Ginsburg and Steinem. They met in the second woman to serve on the United States Supreme Court's office in Washington, D.C., so Ginsburg's office, and they sat down for tea and reflection earlier this month in November. Without question, both of these women would be defined as strong, regardless of their stature. I mean, Ginsburg stands barely 5'1". Regardless of their age, they're both octogenarians, 81 and 82. Regardless of their marital status or whether or not they are a mother, both women have continued throughout their entire adult lives to adhere to values and conveyed, while doing so, enormous strength. And as I began to read the conversation, and don't worry, I will provide a link to that conversation in today's show notes, podcast 72, I began to wonder what exactly constitutes a strong woman? And why should each of us strive to become one? Well, it didn't take me but a second. I know I want to be a strong woman. I know you want to be a strong woman. My first response is, why not become a strong woman, which is the title of today's episode. But what does that mean? What does that mean? And I wanted to dive into that today. After all, becoming a Supreme Court justice, as Ruth Bader Ginsburg is not entirely in one's control. Yes, anyone can pursue a law degree, although that is not a requirement. But a president must appoint each justice, and then approval must be granted by the Senate. So much is dependent upon the timing and the state of the country. Similarly, when we may not at all wish to be a spokeswoman for a movement like Steinem, even if we are absolutely passionate about whatever our cause may be. There are so many different ways we can exhibit the strength that we're going to talk about today. But let's describe and define the characteristics that make up a strong woman, and also talk about the benefits. What are the benefits of being a strong woman? We're going to talk about those today. I have 15 points I want to talk about today. I'm back to my list, but I couldn't help it. That article spurred me to kind of investigate further, and I had the opportunity over our holiday break here in the States. I had a week off for Thanksgiving to travel to 3 different places from my past, which I hadn't planned necessarily to visit my past, but all the places I went to were places I had all lived in for a period of my life. And it was very interesting. And I had this conversation with my mom when I finally figured out what it was that was buzzing around my mind. I couldn't make sense of it for a while. Why it was such a shock of an experience in so many different situations. And it really was an aha moment of where I have finally arrived. And it's this idea of finding that courage within yourself to create the life that you want. And that does take strength. And I know all of you that are listening possess that strength. Some of you are in the middle of your journey and it's not easy. Some of you are on the other side and you've made it over the hump of those obstacles. And not to say you're not going to have some more obstacles in front of you, but we do go through more strenuous and more tranquil periods in our lives. So wherever you are, or maybe you're at the beginning of your journey and you're like, this looks really difficult, the path I want to travel. Maybe that's a sign that I shouldn't travel it. Before you decide to make that decision, please listen to this episode. And I have a feeling you already know what I'm going to say. But please tune in, and maybe you'll have a different way of approaching the path that's been dancing around your mind. So let's dive into the 15 characteristics of what it means to be a strong woman. Number 1 is that a strong woman has a clear goal that is tied to a purpose. Whether she is in her mid-20s or beyond, a strong woman lives her life with a goal in mind. The goal which she is pursuing is tied to a bigger purpose, often to what she wishes her legacy to be long after she is gone. She understands hard work is necessary. She understands the importance of planning, setting goals, both long-term and short-term. And she isn't deterred simply because others may not have or understand her vision. So number 1 is a strong woman has a clear goal that's tied to a purpose. Something bigger than herself. Number 2 is she's willing to take risks. The mantra goes, great rewards involve great risk. And it is something that the strong woman understands, accepts, and is willing to dive in. Rest assured, she does do her homework, but also understands that not everything's going to have a safety net. And she's going to have to strive out on her own with a lot of unknowns as she's moving forward. She accepts this. She realizes that you must take risks to grow, to progress, to come closer to what you wish to acquire. And it may not always be a path that one has traveled. It may not be a path that you know where it's going to lead. But that's what makes her strong. She has that courage and that resilience within herself. Number 2 is she's willing to take risks. Number 3 is she understands the benefits of being in the arena. And if you have read Brené Brown's book, Daring Greatly, or even read a handful of posts from the archives from the Simply Luxurious Life blog, you know what I mean by the arena. It comes from an excerpt from a speech from Teddy Roosevelt. He was speaking in Paris in 1910, and the speech was titled Citizenship in a Republic, but the excerpt that is so often quoted is called The Man in the Arena. And it goes something like this. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. So that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. A strong woman tips her hat in agreement with this quote. She is determined to get off of the sidelines, stop dreaming and wishing, and get in the arena. She recognizes that people will always talk, criticize, and comment, but it is the person doing the deed who makes progress, gains experience, and deepens the quality of her life. So number 3 is she understands the benefits of being in the arena. Number 4 is that she's self-sufficient. A strong woman is independent. She is resourceful. She is capable and she is competent because she has to depend on herself. If she's a homeowner by herself, she's got to know how to fix those little oopses that happen from time to time. The leaky faucet, the yard sprinkler that's not working. Anything that can actually save her money, she can do herself. She figures out how to do it. If she's traveling alone, she needs to figure out how to do so and do so well. If she needs to commute via the subway, she downloads the app and she stays alert and she figures out how to save money and get someplace in a matter of minutes if she needs to. If she needs to do something at work involving technology or how to build a website, she goes online, she does her homework, she Googles it, she talks to experts. She knows how to get things done. The key is she is not codependent and rather wishes to work with others and excel together rather than rely on someone else for her success. So number 4 is she is self-sufficient. Number 5 is she respects the gift that alone time brings. A strong woman gives 100% when she's doing her job, when she's out living her life. But she's also someone who's very comfortable with her own company, and she needs that time to restore, to achieve balance, to unclutter her mind and make sense of everything that's going on so that she makes clear, sound decisions moving forward. Now, every woman will need more time or less time depending on their personalities, but she takes the time to care for herself. These are those times when you're pampering yourself, and many people think that's a guilty pleasure, that's something that's a luxury. But we so need to do this if we're going to be our best. We need to take that time. Maybe it is a massage, or maybe it is simply taking the time with your exercise regimen, whatever it is that you need to do. Investing in your health, taking the time to step away from your responsibilities, your have-tos, your dreams even for a moment, because you can't get there if you're not at your best. So number 5 is a strong woman respects the gift of alone time. Number 6 is that she seeks out fellow strong women. A strong woman desires the company of other strong women. Now, she will quickly let go of any needy or gossipy friend. She gravitates towards women who are also independent like herself, curious about the world. Coming together, they help each other navigate the journey as each of the women are traveling different paths and trying to figure out how to live their best life. So number 6 is they seek out fellow strong women. Number 7 is that they value continual growth and knowledge. Endlessly curious about how the world works, functions, and how to improve their role in it, a strong woman is consistently seeking out knowledge and a better understanding of how to become her best self. Whether it be attending a lecture, taking classes, or reading all sorts of lifestyle blogs online, or challenging herself with a new hobby or skill, she is never a complete project. There's always something more she can learn, always. Number 7 is she values continual growth and knowledge. All right, I'm going to take a quick 1-minute intermission, and I will see you on the other side with the remaining characteristics of what it means to be a strong woman. Welcome back. We are on item number 8 of what it is to be a strong woman. Number 8 is she has strong values. Similarly to Steinem and Ginsburg, a strong woman, due to her incessant quest for knowledge, comes to understand more about the world she lives in and develops a value system that is a driving force in her life. Every woman's will be different. This is key. Every woman's will be different. It's based on her interests, where she lives, what she's passionate about, what she wants to change, what she has talent in and is able to do the best at. All of these different elements come together. She picks her battles then, doesn't waste her energy on futile battles or things that she knows other people would institute a better change or effort in. But because she understands the issues revolving around what she values, she is willing to speak up and not cower. She is unwavering and always seeking to understand more about what she holds dear. So number 8, a strong woman has strong values. Number 9 is that intimacy is given to trusted individuals. She is secure within herself. She does not seek validation from others by divulging all to anyone who will listen. Being her closest and trusted friend, she trusts herself to discern if someone is trustworthy. This process takes time, and she is in no hurry. So number 9 is that intimacy is given to trusted individuals. Number 10, a strong woman is often misunderstood, and therefore she develops a thick skin. Depending upon her upbringing, she may face more misunderstanding or less about the path she has chosen. But in the 21st century, more and more women are pursuing their goals, careers, and dreams rather than choosing a groom. Choosing instead to develop themselves first, coming to understand themselves, and standing on their own 2 feet before they begin to open themselves up to someone who they may want to share their lives with. Women are slowly changing what it means to be a woman. And in this case, they're being strong women. So the more women find the courage within themselves to live their life that aligns with who they are and their passions, it's easier for those coming behind them. Sometimes the strength we speak of today is stereotyped and labeled negatively by those who don't understand or are fearful of what a strong woman might do. But this will begin to change as generations begin to change what it looks like, what it means to be a strong woman. A strong woman, knowing herself and her purpose, allows these comments and ridiculing to be a reflection of the person speaking, rather than hold any value about how she will proceed or where she will go. So number 10 is that strong women are often misunderstood, but they develop a thick skin and charge forward anyway. Number 11 is that they exhibit perseverance. Not expecting a handout and certainly not expecting life to be fair, she weathers the storms, the obstacles, and she finds the courage from within to keep striving forward. While she may find her strength from the support of family and friends at times, it is her inner strength, and for some their spiritual or religious grounding, that reminds her to not be deterred. So number 11 is that they exhibit perseverance. Conversely, number 12, they know when to let go and therefore move forward. While a strong woman is perseverant, she is not a fool. She is able to leave a relationship, let go of a friend, put herself back in the job market, or even move to a new zip code when the opportunity or a dead end shows itself. She understands that everything is not meant to last forever, and she has the strength to move forward with grace. Number 12 is that she knows when to let go and move forward. Number 13 is that she possesses emotional strength. One of the hardest traits to cultivate, a strong woman recognizes the power of understanding her emotions and not being a slave to them, either by learning from her own mistakes, the mistakes of others, or reading books to better understand how to become the person she wishes to be. A strong woman respects the power of self-discipline and control and avoids letting her emotions dictate her actions. If need be, she will seek time with a therapist to strengthen her understanding of herself, not out of weakness, but out of her desire to gain knowledge about how to navigate life successfully and master her mind. Number 13 is that she possesses emotional strength. 14 is that she is comfortable and prefers deep and thoughtful conversation. As I mentioned in number 6, a strong woman does not wish to engage in and does not see value in gossip, and rather seeks out conversations about ideas and new information to better understand whatever the subject matter may be. A strong woman is not afraid to strike up the conversation, but is also a wizard with questions as she wishes to learn from those who know more than she. Number 14 is that she prefers and is most comfortable with deep and thoughtful conversation. And last but not least, number 15 is that she understands the key to fulfillment. True success in life resides solely within each of us, and a strong woman is well aware of this reality. As discussed in depth in episode number 70 a couple weeks ago, the reality is it is the person who must find the courage within themselves to live the life of their dreams. Knowing this fact offers a great relief, but also tells us that we are very responsible for our own success. The question then must be asked, but wouldn't we want to be at the wheel of our lives rather than be at the mercy of someone else's driving prowess? What if we don't want to turn right, but instead turn left? Well, the good news is we can. The capacity to be a strong woman comes from within each of us. I think that's the good news. That's the celebratory news. That's the woohoo, yeah, good news. It's easy to stick to a path we have chosen when we are the ones who made the decision to travel that particular course. It's much harder when we don't know where we want to go, or to find the passion each day when we did not have a hand in the path we are somehow traveling down. The key to knowing where we want to go lies in listening to what piques our interests, finding the courage to stray from the herd, and having an insatiable desire to forever learn and grow. Follow the breadcrumbs, and eventually you will come upon the path that is ideally suited for you. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. The 15 ways and benefits of being a strong woman. You'll find all of the links and various posts that we talked about today on today's show notes, the simplyluxuriouslife.com/podcast72. And I've also included a couple of other episodes and blog posts that I think you might be interested in, namely the 10 differences between women and girls, that is podcast number 24, and 2 other blog posts from the past that you might be interested in. Why not revel in being a woman, and why not be a feminist? You might be interested in one of those. Now, this week's petit plaisir is a little bit different as we are about to step into December and holiday shopping has begun. As I have promised, the return of the Simply Luxurious Life Holiday Gift Guide is now on the blog. When you're done listening to today's episode, go ahead and head to the blog, the simplyluxuriouslife.com/TSLL Holiday Guide 2015 for a list of items for a handful of different people in your life. Also, there are a couple of items that have an exclusive promo code only available to Simply Luxurious Life readers and the SImple Sophisticate listeners. I am so excited to share this list with you, and I'm so glad it's finally returned. I hope your holiday season is off to a wonderful start. Thank you so much for tuning in, and happy holidays from the Simply Luxurious Life and the SImple Sophisticate. Thank you for tuning in to the SImple Sophisticate podcast, where intelligent living is paired with signature style. For more ideas and inspiration throughout the week, stop by the blog, thesimplyluxuriouslife.com, or pick up the book, Choosing the Simply Luxurious Life, A Modern Woman's Guide. Until next Monday, I'm your host, Shannon Ables. Bonjour!